Okay, so back in Vegas, first time since 2019. Why was this a good time to be back in Las Vegas?
Yeah, no, it's great to return. I mean, this is the fight capital of the world. It's a sports and entertainment town. Great to return. You know, this is a mini residency. You know, Ray Sefo, our president of fighter operations, you know, Ray resides here. We have a core team here who's based in Las Vegas. We have an office here. So it's really exciting to be back.
PFL Europe was a humongous success a few weeks ago. How excited were you about that?
Yeah, it was absolutely met all of our expectations. You know, success up in Newcastle. We have one more regular season event in Berlin in July. Then we go to Paris for the playoffs for PFL Europe. And then we'll finish big in Dublin in December for the PFL Europe Championship. And it was PFL Europe is just one of several international regional leagues that the PFL will be launching in the next 3 years. And our vision of the sport is to have top fighters from all over the world at different stages of their pro career compete in their region, in their countries, against top competition on major media platforms, but fighting for purpose, to develop themselves, develop the sport, but to become regional champions. We'll have in-region competition within those leagues, pan-regional competition, and then the top talent, those top performers within the regional PFL international leagues, those champions, will have a pathway to PFL Global to compete on a global stage against the next caliber of talent to become world champions. And that is our vision for the sport, for what we're building. It'll advance the sport, it will grow the sport, and it'll give fighters opportunities and major events and a year-round calendar. I mean, this year we have 24 events. Remember, last year we just had 18 events. 2 years ago, we had 10 events. What I can tell you, in 3 years' time, we'll have well over 40 events. And again, we're creating a system for the sport, and it really answers the need of fighters, the need of media companies, as well as fans. Fans want demand for more quality MMA and competition year-round, and that's our focus, that's our purpose.
Why was Europe the first place to go? Was it just the madness of the European fans?
No, I mean it is the top growth region in the world. I mean, and not just the UK, but all throughout Europe. I mean, there's so much demand for it. We see the growth, we see the opportunity, and there's a plethora of top talent, you know, within the region.
So with you saying that expanding, so you're going to see a PFL Asia, PFL Australia, PFL Africa, something like that?
Correct, and we'll be making an announcement in the next 3 months on the second league that we'll be launching, which will happen in 2024.
What's the time frame you think that we might start seeing some of that talent here in the United States, competing with some of the United States talent that we're already familiar with?
Well, I mean, what you're seeing here in Las Vegas is our global league. So what I can tell you is the season here, the fighters who are fighting here in Vegas in the regular season, half of this roster is made up of champions. Okay, 50% of the roster, 60 fighters, 30 of those fighters are champions, either returning PFL champions or champions from leagues around the world. So I mean, this is some of the best fighters in the world competing for the PFL World Championship, $1 million on the line, 4 fights, less than 8 months. One of the toughest challenges, one of the biggest tests in the sport. So those regional fighters, they're not there yet. They're looking to get on this stage. They're looking to take on the Larissa Pacheco's of the world and others in the league. So that's kind of how this system will work.
Pete, with all those fighters coming in, are you kind of anticipating some newer weight classes to kind of like add over time in the next few years?
No, a great question. I mean, within the global league, we have 5 men's, one women's weight class. You're seeing the women's tonight, the 145ers, which is a debut for us. We were 155 the last several years. Now we're 145. We're enjoying that different talent coming into the league because of that new weight class. And what we're doing with regional leagues, and our Challenger Series, we have women's 125. So we're developing that weight class. We'll develop other weight classes. So over time, you will see within PFL Global us expanding our roster, expanding weight classes, and now we can experiment in other parts of the world to develop that talent.
I'm assuming Latin, South America is also going to be a big shoot.
There will be, PFL Brazil / LATAM, certainly PFL Asia, PFL Africa, PFL Middle East, and we're defining a point of view in other parts of the world, but it's all in the works. We're executing against the plan, and more to come.
It's very rare to see an amateur fighter sort of so high up on the card, and obviously Biagio's in action again tonight. What can you tell me about his sort of plans with the promotion, and I'm guessing you hope to welcome him as a pro as well?
Yeah, I mean, Biagio, Ali Walsh. I mean, he's a special fighter, not only because of the legacy of his family, but you see what his brother's doing in top rank in boxing. He's committed to this sport. Ray Sefo and the team, they saw something very special in Biagio. I mean, not only is a captivating sort of personality, he's an amazing athlete. He's got multiple tools. He's fighting tonight. While it's an amateur fight, we thought it was befitting here in Vegas to give him a main stage. He's a finisher, and he's now developing. So we're developing athletes like Biagio, who's an amateur on a major stage. And so, he's prime time. And he's going to give the fans a show tonight. It'll be a great fight. No disrespect to his opponent. I mean, it is this is going to be a major fight tonight. But he's special, and he's playing at such a high level. He's training at Extreme Couture. He's spending time with Ray Sefo, with Randy Couture, and others. He's committed to it. So it's fun to see an athlete develop. And when he goes pro is when he'll be ready. When his team says he's ready, when he feels he's ready, when Ray Sefo says he's ready.
Just away from the seasons, what's the latest development on the Super Fight series? Is that something we can look at for 23 or potentially 24?
Yeah, we'll be making announcements on the PFL Super Fight division, our first event in pay-per-view. Having nothing to do with the season format. But top ranked, top caliber talent, ranked in the top 10 in the world. There's a couple of big fights in the making that we're building around, and I will tell you in the next 2 months we'll be making some announcements on that. And so the latter part of this year we will we'll debut the Super Fights series.
Have you been sort of inundated with sort of requests and conversations with fighters from sort of across the landscape?
Yeah, we're in every conversation. I mean, when fighters are going into free agency, they see what the PFL is building. They see what we stand for in terms of our platform, our capabilities, our ability to market, our ability to distribute, our ability to create opportunity and create value, not only for the league, but for the fighters. And again, as we mentioned in our Super Fights division, we will share 50% of the revenue with the fighters participating in that division. And that's our commitment. We don't just transact with athletes; we partner.
One more over here. So you've got the smart cage, and PFL has really been instrumental in using technology to help the fighters and also reviewing public follow what's going on in the cage. Any new technology you're working on, something that the fans can look forward to?
Well, I do want to share this, but I can't just yet. But we're really excited about the smart cage. I mean, for us, as you think about the differentiators, what we stand for is really, it's a fighters first organization, the PFL, but to create an experience for fans that leverages fighter data, fight analytics, proprietary technology tied to the smart cage. So not just strike speed, but kick speed, requiring no wearables. We invented it. Camera technology and math is really at hand there. But there's other technology in biometrics that I'm very excited about, and you'll see the PFL actually testing some new biometric measurements this season with some upcoming events.
Is there anything you can tell us about Jake Paul and when we can anticipate seeing him out?
Well, you're going to see him tonight. Jake's going to make a special appearance, tonight as a exclusive interview. So more to come. Tune into that within tonight's show. He's going to do some commentary as well, and he'll provide a little color and context on his next moves, not only in boxing but in the MMA. And what I can tell you, he is focused on a major debut, a major opponent, and that'll happen in 2024.
Is there anything you can kind of tell us about how that all came about? I mean, given that he's been really heavy in the boxing scene, and then out of nowhere we kind of got he's joining PFL?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had a relationship for quite some time. We were following his career, obviously in boxing. And it's an authentic partnership that we created. I mean, Jake, what he stands for, he's an advocate for athletes, for boxers, as well as MMA fighters. Very authentic to him. So our values are very consistent with Jake's values. So that was sort of number one. And then number two, for him to come into the sport and partner with the PFL and be an exclusive MMA fighter with the PFL, I think speaks volumes to where the PFL is today as a global leader.
Hey guys, we have to wrap it up, so thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.